Come on, Chris. What's up, everybody? Such a nice day. Okay, so I want to thank these guys for the music in the background. So awesome. So we're gonna make sort of a there's a trend in I guess you could say pastries or breakfast where croissants were not good enough. We had to make a cronut. So you take a donut and a croissant and you create it. And this guy in New York created this sensation of combining two different amazing things and making them one. So I was going to make some waffles today, and I decided that I was going to combine waffles and donuts, and it's called?
Wonut.
A wonut. I know. Don't trademark that. I'm working on that now. But the First Lady said, look, we'd love to have you come and do a demo here, but she's all about healthy food and healthy activities and healthy lifestyle. So let's try to make the waffles and the waffle donuts, let's try to make them healthy. So that's what we're gonna do today. Obviously, the big word is moderation, and then also making choices in the ingredients that you actually use to actually make whatever you're gonna cook. But we don't wanna give away flavor. We still want them to taste good, because the word healthy does not taste delicious. But we're gonna make these walnuts amazing. All right, so we're gonna start off. All right, what should we do here, Chris? We put the batter together first?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
You're dry.
All right, so we're gonna start with some dry ingredients. Now, clearly, like when you make waffles and pancakes at home, you start with some all-purpose flour, which we're going to. But we're gonna actually cut the all-purpose flour with a little bit of whole wheat flour. And then here's something that's really cool. We'll take some oats and put them in a food processor and basically make oat flour to go into the waffles as well, so it's completely ground. So basically we have three: all-purpose flour, the white flour, then we have the ground oats and some whole wheat flour as well. And also, I love the nutty flavor of whole wheat. Whenever I have an opportunity to eat anything whole wheat, whether it's some bread or a bagel, or even pizza or a pasta, like I love the nuttiness of whole wheat. And also, when you're eating it, like you feel like you're eating it very healthfully, and that's really the key. Then we're gonna add some baking powder and a little bit of salt. And then, again, it's all about choices. So instead of just using, refined sugar, we're actually, the white sugar, granulated sugar, we're gonna use some pure cane sugar. You still want a little bit of sweetness, but you want to pick the sugar that's actually better for you.
There's
so why not?
2 tablespoons in that whole thing.
2 tablespoons,
yeah,
exactly. All right, so those are the dry ingredients. You want to start whacking up this egg here? So then we're going to, whenever you make a batter, you need 2 bowls. You need the bowl for the dry ingredients, and then you need the bowl for the wet ingredients, and then you combine them all together. Am I going too fast? Okay. All right. All right, so 1 egg. We're gonna use a little bit of honey.
Use that bowl.
Oh, this bowl.
Yeah, here.
All right, you don't need 2 bowls to do the egg, usually, but we can do the egg in 1 bowl. All right, so then we're gonna take our egg and a little bit of honey. I use a ton of honey in all my cooking. If you watch me on Food Network, I like really big flavors, like chili peppers, lots of roasted and toasted garlic, things with lots of flavor. And I use a lot of honey to kind of chill out those ingredients. And then we're gonna add a little bit of vanilla extract, which I love. I'm a huge vanilla fan. Okay, and then buttermilk. Now, buttermilk sounds like it's gonna be higher in calories and higher in fat than any other milk because you're combining butter and milk. But actually, it's actually a lot lower in calories and in fat than whole milk. So buttermilk also it's gonna give it a really nice flaky texture, and that's really key. So we're gonna add our buttermilk to our wet. So now we have the wet ingredients and the dry ingredients.
Wait, I have butter for you.
What's that?
A little bit of butter.
A little bit of butter. Now,
melted.
A lot of times, like when I make waffles at home and I'm not really worrying about my calories, I put a ton of butter in the waffles because it makes it really crispy. But in this case, what we're gonna do is we're gonna combine a little bit of butter and a little bit of canola oil.
Yeah, this is 2 tablespoons of butter.
Just 2 tablespoons of butter, exactly, for all these waffles. And then the big question is, do you put the wet in the dry or the dry in the wet? Who knows? You're pointing to him? All right, what is it? Is it dry into wet or wet into dry? Dry into wet?
It doesn't matter.
Chris thinks wet into dry. We're gonna go dry into wet because the crowd This is a Democratic lawn here. We are going to take the vote. Dry into wet. All right. Wait, yes, dry into wet. It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't matter.
That's really what it comes down to. I want to give the people a vote. All right, so now the key here, though, is no matter what you do, you want to make sure that you just kind of fold it in and you don't overmix it, because if you overmix it, we're not going to have nice, tender waffles. So you're going to have a few lumps in there, but actually that's what you want. It's going to look okay. And because there's not a lot of butter in here and not a lot of sugar, you're actually going to get a pretty thick batter. You can see that. It's pretty thick, okay? That's what you want. Don't thin it out. We want our waffles to have some good density to it. Now, what I like to do, excuse me, what I like to do is actually let my batter rest for a little while. So I have a batter here that we rested for about 30 minutes or so. And we're gonna get our waffle iron going. Make sure the waffle iron is obviously very hot. You wanna preheat it. We have some canola oil spray that we're gonna put in there. Should we put what do you think? The plain or the?
Let's do plain first.
Do the plain first? No, we can only do one.
All right, so then do blueberry.
Okay. So in the batter, okay, because we want to get some good, sort of healthy ingredients in there, some fruits. In one of these, I folded in some blueberries, and the other one, we folded in some bananas. All right, let's have another vote. Blueberries or bananas? Yeah, bananas got crushed. Okay, so we're going to blueberries. Wasn't even close. Bananas was like, why did they even show up? All right. Those poor bananas. There's a sale on bananas here, ladies and gentlemen. Bananas have no friends. All right, so we're gonna put some of the batter, and not a lot of it, because remember, we have baking powder in there, and it's gonna make it puff up and get nice and light. So the idea behind a good waffle is you want nice, light, and fluffy, and crispy on the outside. Let's close this. I love this part. I don't even know what that does, but they tell you to do that, so we do it. All right, so we're gonna let our waffles go here. Were you dancing?
No.
Okay, so
Was I dancing?
I just want to make sure I wasn't missing something. All right, so we're gonna let our waffles, and here's the thing, it's like, don't peek,
Yeah.
right? You're waiting around, starting to smell good. The kids are saying, Mom, are the waffles ready yet? And you start to peek. You're gonna ruin your waffles that way. Keep the heat in. You want the heat in there, you want them to get nice and crispy. If you keep peeking, what are you doing? You're letting air in, you're gonna make the waffle iron cold, and you're gonna get soggy waffles. We don't want soggy waffles. So we're just gonna leave it alone. It's the same thing, like it's almost like when when I teach guys how to grill, because every guy thinks they can grill, right? I always say there's two kinds of guys in the world, guys that can grill and guys that think they can grill. That's every guy in the entire country. But I always say to them, first rule of thumb, stop over grilling, meaning like put the food on the grill and let the grill do its job. Handcuff your hands, walk away, go get yourself a cocktail. But when you start flipping and turning, you're gonna ruin the food, and it's not gonna be able to get like that good crust that you want on it. Same thing with the waffles. So we got a little steam going here.
That's what you want. That's good. Yeah.
We know this is working. All right, how are we gonna flavor these, Chris?
Well, how about we do a glaze?
Let's do a glaze. All right. So think about this. So we're gonna make waffles that kind of taste like donuts, right? That's the whole walnut thing.
Right, walnut. Yeah, walnut.
Could it be a different name? Waffle nut? No.
What?
No, walnut.
Yeah, walnut.
That's it. Okay, that's what it's gonna be. All right, so we're gonna make a glaze with we made some waffles here, because this is gonna take about 10 minutes.
Yeah,
Takes a while.
Takes a while.
Takes a while. So
It's already
here's what we're gonna do. A little lemon. A what? A dofel.
a dolphin.
What do you think? A walnut? You like walnut better? Sir, you got outvoted. I'm sorry. Listen, I appreciate the effort, though. That's cool. All right, so let's do. How about lemon and blueberries?
Yeah. Great.
Okay. So we have some lemon juice and a little confectionery sugar. See, I love things. To me, contrast of texture and flavor is really, really important. So we have a little bit of lemon juice. Do you have any lemon zest?
Yep.
Yeah, give me some lemon zest. Lemon zest. Okay, listen, when you go to the store and you buy a lemon, make sure you harvest the zest with a zester before you cut into it. Like, they're giving you free flavor. Like, you paid for the lemon, you want the juice, but everybody throws the zest in the garbage. Take the zest off the lemon first. This is where all the flavor is, and it's free. That's the thing I like about it. You know, it's like $1 a lemon, plus we give you free zest. It's really cool. So, and this really pumps up the flavor.
Yeah.
So we're gonna put a, I know.
Okay.
So, all right, so
I'm agreeing.
a little bit of lemon zest, a little bit of lemon juice, a little bit of confectionery sugar, and you get this really light kind of glaze going there. It's basically 3 ingredients, nothing else. Fresh lemon juice. And then I love lemon and blueberries together. You know, spring is here. We can start to feel it actually. And I love the combination of blueberries and lemon. It's a classic combination. So we're just gonna crush some blueberries with some fresh mint. I'm a huge fresh mint fan. I love it.
And that's another way of getting flavor without calories. I mean,
That's
all
the
this
thing.
stuff.
You want to get flavor without fat. Listen, butter, cream, that makes everything taste good. But it just adds lots of calories. And frankly, I hate the treadmill. So I try not to eat as many calories as possible because I know I have to get back on there. You know what I'm saying? So we're just going to take, we have a plate or we just, here, let's do this.
There's some blueberry ones there.
All right. Take some waffles. And instead of maple syrup, you're still gonna get a little sweetness, you're gonna get some fruitiness, and you're gonna get a lot less calories, but it's gonna be amazing. So we're gonna take a little bit of our lemon glaze, and listen, this is a very, very intense flavor, so a little bit goes a long way. And the key to these is like you get these little bites of waffles with tons of flavor, and then we're gonna take a little bit of blueberry, and just drop the blueberries right into the
Crevices.
the crevices. Thank you for that word.
You're welcome.
I would have been here for a long time trying to figure out what to call those. The waffle holes. Beautiful. And then maybe a little more fresh mint. These are gorgeous. How's our waffles doing? Don't peek.
I'm not gonna peek.
Good.
I was gonna flip.
All right. Gorgeous. All right. All right, so those are our walnuts. And now we want to make one more quick dish. This is something that I've become a huge Greek yogurt fan. I'm sure you've seen the commercials because you can't get out of the way of them. But so we're going to use just a little bit of Greek yogurt, and we're going to take the same combination of the blueberries and the fresh mint. Oh, you know what? I'm going to put some nuts on here too. I love nuts because when I was talking about the contrast of texture, that's really important. These are peanuts. Obviously, if you don't like peanuts or if you're allergic to peanuts, you might want to use like walnuts or pecans, pine nuts, anything like that works really nicely. All right, what is this?
This is the crushed.
All right, make sure you check your berries. Thanks, Chris. So here's the deal. I want this to be yogurt with flavor. Okay, I love the tanginess of yogurt, but you know, not everybody does. So if you want to take a little bit of the tanginess in, bring in some really good fruit flavor. So you have some crushed blueberries and strawberries here, and then we're gonna add a little bit of vanilla. You know you got the vanilla extract in your cupboard. It's time to use it, right? A little bit of vanilla extract, again, very strong flavor. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of the blueberry compote, a little bit of lemon zest, and then some granola for the top. I'm going to take one of our waffles. It's almost like you ever go to a festival and they have Belgian waffles. You know, the Belgian waffles, and you know it's this big waffle. The whipped cream is this high, and they're like, all right, we're going to make this really healthful. We're going to put 2 strawberries on top, so everybody's cool. So basically, this is sort of a much more, I would say, healthier version. So we're just going to swirl, okay? You take your spatula and you just carefully just kind of marble in the blueberries into the yogurt. But we don't want to completely mix it because I think it looks really beautiful if it just sort of has that marbled color, or that sort of marbled look to it. Spoon. So instead of, you know, some thick whipped cream, we have this beautiful thick yogurt. I'm going to put it right on top. And then a tiny bit of granola. Then maybe another waffle right on top. And a little more yogurt.
There might be some tasters over there.
Should we let somebody taste this?
They look like there's some tasters.
All right. Nobody's allergic to peanuts, right? You sure? Okay. Come on up. How's our waffles? Okay. Take one. How are they? Really good? How about delicious? Remember we practiced earlier? Who else? Oh, look at you have a tie. Look at you. What's up, handsome? Are you a blueberry fan? Pretty much. Okay. All right, come here, Kumo D.
It hits the spot, he said.
He hates what?
He said it hits the spot.
Hits the spot. Hits the spot. This gentleman has a bow tie on, sir. What do you think? Delicious. Next time, taste it first and then say that. We have one more. Who wants it? Oh, see, look at this. Future customers. We'll make some more for you guys. All right, don't go anywhere. Come on, Chris. We got hungry people here.
We're on it.
Any questions? Anybody out there? It's going to be posted somewhere. Yes, bobbyflay.com. Sorry? Exactly right. No. Where's the lemons?
What are you looking for?
Oh, this. I have to make some waffles for these guys. Blueberries? You guys are allergic to peanuts, right? Okay, good. Hits the spot. Here you are. Grab one. Chris, sweetie, want one? How cute you are. Thank you so much. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll be back a little bit later. Have a great day at the Easter egg roll. Have a good day.